So this practice, this video, I'm going to walk you through a practice called breathing recovery. It's a beautifully gentle breathing practice that can be used as a warm-up to like a wider breathing practice, or specifically for periods of stress, anxiety, panic attack, asthma symptoms, or like a racing mind and you sort of can't slow your thoughts down. This is a really effective and accessible practice for all. So I will preface it, there is a slight breath hold in this. So if you are pregnant, this is not a practice for yourself. We advocate for no breath holds during pregnancy. Other than that, as I said, if you do navigate anxiety, panic attack, overwhelm, stress, symptoms related to asthma like wheezing or coughing, this can be incredibly beneficial. It is an emergency exercise. So if you are feeling a panic attack or something like that coming on, you can typically sense when that's occurring. This is a practice to adopt. It's really powerful. There's a beautiful biochemical processes going on within the body mind. So it's a simple practice, but know that there is a lot going on that is helping to oxygenate the blood, oxygenate the cells, to calm the breathing, and to sort of bring your nervous system back into a state of balance and help with the more parasympathetic branch of the nervous system. So with that in mind, I will get into the practice. It's probably one that you might want to save down if you do navigate anxiety, panic attack, stress, and so on. So you might actually also want to have a stopwatch or a phone on hand so you can record the time. That said, if you are experiencing panic, anxiety, the last thing you want to think about in that time is probably counting your breath or watching a clock. So in that moment, let your body guide the practice. Okay, so for the practice, sitting upright, comfortable. Now the practice is you breathe in through the nose, a normal breath, out through the nose. You're going to pinch the nose and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you release the breath. Then you start to breathe normally again through the nose for 10 to 15 seconds. And so you repeat that practice over and over until you feel the alleviation of symptoms, be that your racing mind slows down, your anxiety or your panic alleviates or subsides somewhat, your wheezing or your coughing simmers down. When you start to notice a bit of a shift in your energy and how you're feeling, you can let go of the practice. So you might practice anywhere from 5 to 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever you need in that moment. Let your body be the guide. So we'll go through the practice again. I'll do it to sort of show you, and then you can just repeat that as required. So we breathe in through the nose, out through the nose, pinch the nose, hold for 5, release the nose and the breath, and then you breathe normally through the nose for 10 to 15 seconds. So and you breathe for 10 to 15 seconds. So I will preface that with a couple of really quick points. You don't want to hold your breath when you do pinch your nose, you don't want to hold your breath for longer than 5 seconds because it can be very destabilizing for the system. So if you are feeling stressed, anxiety, overwhelm, consider holding your breath for 5 seconds or less. That said as well, if pinching your nose and holding your breath for 5 seconds is not comfortable, and that I will say it's completely normal, especially in times where you're incredibly stressed or panicked, it can often feel like, in fact, if we are trying to hold the breath, that it can actually exacerbate the panic. So in that instance, do what's comfortable. You might only hold your breath, hold the nose, pinch the nose for 2 seconds or 3 seconds. and you can slowly build up to 5 seconds as you continue the practice. But if you only feel comfortable to hold the nose for 2 seconds, go with that. What we don't want to do is to exacerbate any panic or stress or angst through a forced breath hold, because breath holds can activate the system, and we're trying to go in the other direction to promote calm. So only go with what's comfortable for you. So if you breathe in through your nose, out through your nose, pinch your nose for 2 seconds, let go and breathe normal for 10 to 15 seconds. That's fine. Do what feels right. For anyone that has experienced panic attacks, or I certainly have in years past, panic attacks, overwhelm, shortness of breath when navigating asthma, if we try to slow the breath or we implement a breath hold or breath counts, it can feel like we are almost suffocating ourselves. So this practice is, rather than slowing the breath or forcing any breath holds, we're simply using this practice in a comfortable way, letting our body guide to calm the breath rather than slow the breath. And the last thing I'll say is, when you breathe in through the nose, out through the nose, pinch for 2 to 5 seconds, release, and then you breathe normal for 10 to 15 seconds. In that period when you're breathing normal, try to focus on breathing through the nose, slow and low. And by that we mean into the diaphragm. We want to alleviate or avoid shallow chest breathing, because that type of breathing is quite prevalent when we're stressed. And if we stay in that state, that shallow chest breathing can exacerbate the stress state that we're in. So nose, slow and low. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, reach out via hollyshoebridge.com.